Good morning, Mill Watchers. How is everybody? I'm feeling healthy, happy, rich, and pretty, and I hope you are too. Very glad to see you. Welcome to our final Johnny's Happy Place of the year. Appreciate everybody who's tuning in. And right now, that means you, John. Thanks for being here, sir. Got a great show planned for you today. We're going to be reading some Norm Macdonald later, probably singing a couple songs, tell you some old jokes, maybe do some Shakespeare. You know how it works around here. How are you doing? You all right? Half of this show depends on you in the chat. So anything you got on your mind, write that in the chat. We'll catch up, all right? Let me show you how it works. Let's go to the chat now. There it is. Simple as can be. You type it in the comments and it shows up there on the big screen. Simple as it. And if we run out of things to say, like in this case, sometimes you don't have anything to say off the bat, we have the wheel. The wheel is just a circle of things that I like to do for fun. I'll show you how it works. There's the wheel. There we go. Wisdom, monologues, feelings, who knows? Start with an a cappella song. That's a nice way to warm up. Let's do this one in front of the campfire. Trying to learn how to sing into a microphone, and what better way to do that than practice with the nice folks here at home. All right, let's give it a try. Let's start with, let's see. Remember, if you have any songs you'd like to request, all you have to do is put it in the chat, and I'd be proud to sing it for you. Let's sing Willie the Wandering Gypsy and Me. That's one of my favorites, and I know it by heart. 3 fingers whiskey, pleasures the drinkers, moving does more than the drinking for me. Willie, he tells me, the doers and thinkers say, moving's the closest thing to being free. He's up rosined his rigging, he's laid back his wages, he's dead set on riding the big rodeo. My woman's tight with an overdue baby, Willie keeps yelling, hey gypsy, let's go. Willie is wild as the Texas Blue Northern, red and roll from same makings as me. I reckon we'll ramble till hell freezes over, Willie, the wandering gypsy and me. Now ladies, we surely will take of your favors. We surely warn you, there never will be a single soul living can put brand or handle on Willie the wandering gypsy and me. Willie is wild as the Texas Blue Northern, bred and rolled from the same makings as me. I reckon we'll ramble till hell freezes over, Willie the wandering gypsy and me. Well, they dance on the mountains, and they shout in the canyons, they swarm in a loose herd like wild buffalo, jamming our heads full of figures and angles, telling us things that we already know. Willie, you're wild as a Texas Blue Northern, ready rolled from the same makings as me. I reckon we'll ramble till hell freezes over, Willie, the wandering gypsy and me. By the great Billy Joe Shaver, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing new in the chat, so let's head back and spin the wheel. That's a fun song to sing. Hey, Stephanie's here. Welcome, Stephanie. My sister's here, everybody. We were just spinning the wheel. You have any requests for poems or anything, let me know. Happy New Year to you. Ooh, monologue. Those are fun. Let's go down to the theater, do a monologue. Let's do there's so many great things to read from. I'm just trying to figure out something that's short and fun. Let's do I want to do something let's do Welcome to Hell. Where is that? Okay, that's not it. We're seconds away from doing a wonderful piece by Rowan Atkinson called Welcome to Hell. I think you'll enjoy it very much. Uh-oh. And I've crashed the whole system. Didn't mean to, but I did. Let's close that. Anyway, how you doing, Steph? You all right? How was your holiday? Tell me all about it in the chat. My holiday was uneventful. It was wonderful. We were home. Debbie made a beautiful, beautiful Thanksgiving. We had a lovely meal, beautiful tree. Kids had far too many presents. It was a really nice time. Let's do, here we go. Welcome to Hell. Found it. All right. Now, hopefully you know who Rowan Atkinson is. He's one of the all-time great English comedians, played Mr. Bean, but this is from his one-man show, and I sincerely hope you enjoy it. I think you're going to enjoy it very, very much. Seconds from now, all of us together, we're going to enjoy that. Oh, here we go. Nope. Interesting. What do you call a fish with no eyes? Just to help pass the time. I don't understand what's going on right now. There's his truck attitude. There we go. Everybody give up yet? Three fingers whiskey, pleasures the drinkers. I gotta learn how to use that search function. Nope. Nope. Oh, come on. I can't believe this. Fatal Beatings. There it is. Nope. No. It's opening up. I wish I could show you the screen. It's opening up a whole separate thing. Hey, I saw a movie this week. I saw Godzilla. Anybody see Godzilla -1? It's fantastic. Enjoyed it very much. I'm going to change my whole hairstyle. Can't wait. All right. In the news, being, doing, getting, superhero musings, letter to a friend in hospital. Oh, come on. Please, please, let me do one. Just my sister's watching. It's embarrassing. Good. Okay. This is Welcome to Hell by Rowan Atkinson. Hello, nice to see you all again. Well, as the more perceptive of you have probably realized by now, this is Hell, and I am the devil. But you may call me Toby, if you like. We try to keep things informal here, as well as infernal. That's just a little joke. I tell it every time. Now, you're all here for eternity, which I need hardly tell you is a heck of a long time. So you'll all get to know each other pretty well by the end. But for now, I'm going to have to split you up into groups, and would you please stop screaming? Thank you. Now, murderers over here, please. Thank you. Looters, pillagers, you're over here. Thieves, if you could join them, and lawyers, you're with that lot as well. Fornicators, if you could please step forward. My God, there are a lot of you. I think I'll split you into adulterers and the rest. Male adulterers, if you could form a line in front of that small guillotine in the corner. Yes, the French, are you here? Yes, if you just come down here with the Germans, I'm sure you'll have plenty to talk about. Atheists over here, please. Thank you. You must be feeling a right bunch of nitwits. And finally, Christians. Christians? Yes, I'm sorry. I'm afraid it turns out the Jews were right. All right, well then, are there any questions? Yes. Oh, no, I'm afraid we don't have any toilets. If you'd read your Bible, you might have seen it was damnation without relief. So if you didn't go before you came, then I'm afraid you're not going to enjoy yourself very much. But I believe that's the idea. Well, it's over to you, Adolf, and I'll catch you all later at the barbecue. Bye. Wonderful. Worth the wait. Rowan Atkinson's a genius. End of the year gremlins. Ain't that the truth? Tony's here. Fantastic. To the jet. Oh, Stephanie had a few questions for me. She said, hi, brother, which I always appreciate. My actual sister being here on the show with me. One of the best things about this show is how much family shows up. I never get to talk to family, But of all the options, Johnny, which is your favorite? I wanted to do that one, and I'm glad I got it. Of all the options on the wheel, which is my favorite? I like all of them. Probably monologue is my favorite. I like doing a stand-up. I like singing the songs. The poems are fun. I like all of it. It's all stuff I like. It's a wheel of stuff I like. I can't lose. Great question. And finally, she was great. Spent time with the grandbabies. I can't even imagine how wonderful that must feel. And Tony says, end of the year gremlins. He's right. We got a Y2K23 situation happening. Got to reset all of our calendars, and it's going to cause problems. Good to see you, Tony. I'm glad you're here. I got the patent monologue all locked and loaded for when it comes up on the big wheel. So thanks for coming back. How you been, Tony? How the shows? How's everything up there in Pennsylvania? This is my sister, Stephanie. Stephanie, Tony. Tony's a comedian. Stephanie's my sister. There you go. Go ahead, chat. Keep the show moving? You're right. How about this? Let's spin the wheel some more. Here we go. What do we got? Ooh, a joke. Good, I got a whole bunch of long jokes. Very, very hard to... Nobody cares. All right, here, let's go down to the comedy club and I'll tell you one of my favorites. Oh, this is good. You're gonna like this. One day before the king goes to war, he locks his wife, the beautiful queen, in her room. He gives the key to his best friend and says, if I am not back within 4 weeks, open the room and she is yours. And he gets on his horse and he hits the road. Half an hour later, he notices a dust cloud and sound coming behind him. He stops and he sees his friend riding very fast toward him. What's wrong? The king asks. Out of breath, his friend answers, it's the wrong key. It's the wrong key. He was gonna have sex with the queen. Oh, we got one vote for monologue. All right, let's spin the wheel. I feel lucky. Ciao, bella. Oh, here we go. Pick a fight. Oh, I keep on trying this. Let's see something else I can argue about here. Back to the chat chalet. We will attempt to pick a fight. Now, in the past, I have tried to pick a fight about riding horses. Nobody took the bait. Here, I'll pick a fight. I like Barack Obama. I posted one of his quotes this week on TikTok, and half the people were telling me what a horrible guy he is. I know most people have been trained, or at least half of the people have been trained in this country to hate Barack Obama, but I admire him. I like watching him. I like watching him give speeches. I like reading his writing. He's an inspiration to me, and I think he's a terrific guy. I think he's a good model for what a human being should be. Who disagrees? Now's your chance. Tell me what's wrong with Barack Obama. I think he's great. You know, did bad things when he was president, but you know, when you're president, what the hell are you going to do? You know what I mean? Yeah. Shane is here. Oh boy. Hold on. Shane is here. Hi, Shane. I missed you. I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for being here, Shane. I appreciate you coming in. You wrote me a nice letter on my instant message, and I started right back, and I couldn't come up with enough, and I panicked, and I wrote nothing. So, sorry, nothing personal. I tried, and then I panicked, and I did nothing. But I'm very glad that you're here. I'm glad you're back to watch the show. We got a lot of fun for you. We got part 2 of that Norm Macdonald story I was reading you last week, and all kinds of fun to be had. All right, big, big money. Let's see what we got. Spin the wheel. She likes Obama. Hey, somebody else likes Obama. I'm glad. A lot of times I have to pretend I don't. I don't pretend I don't. I just have to shut up about it, really. But I got a painting of him up in my home. I like Barack Obama. I hope my kids grow up to be just like him. Too late for me. Man, 3 jokes in a row. That is unlikely. I'm going to give it a double spin because I feel good. How you doing? How's your holiday? How was the time with your 45-year-old friend? Did you go out and have some fun? Was it as nice as you'd hoped? Ooh, story time. Fantastic. Let's go down to the theater. Now, let's do the story at the campfire. This is so exciting for me. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to read for you from Norm Macdonald's book based on a true story. He has 3 parts of a story. The first part was called The Wish. We read it last week. It's still up on Facebook if you want to watch it. And it's the story of Norm helping a bedridden child in a hospital have his last wish come true. He found out that the last wish was, in fact, to club a baby seal. So, this is part 2. It is called A Wish Fulfilled. Gotta do headphones for this. As I look, looks just fine. All right. This is A Wish Fulfilled by Norm MacDonald. As per our plan, the boy informed his parents, who then informed me, that the boy had decided he might like to spend a week at SNL seeing how to sketch goes from an idea on paper all the way to a sketch on live television. Yeah, me and him both. I agreed, and 2 hours later we were both on a prop plane to Gander, Newfoundland. Edward McClintock was a cod fisherman from up Labrador way. Edward's father and his father's father and his father's father's father had all been sealers. Edward was not a sealer, but he killed seals. The seal and I make our living the same way. Cod. One seal can eat 300 to 400 North Atlantic cod a day, and these are cod I can't catch. Do you follow? Yes, sir, I said. They sound like gluttonous beasts, these seals. I mean, I like a nice piece of cod as much as the next guy, but 300 to 400, I mean, that's just eating to eat. Speaking of gluttonous beasts, son, your friend has been eating me out of house and home, and he can't hold his drink. I have no use for a man who can't hold his drink. And he motioned toward Adam Egat, who was inert under a quilt beside the fireplace. He handed me his bottle of iceberg rum, and I took a swig of it, and it felt nice and warm inside. He could be trusted, sir, I said. He always does what he's told. Fair enough. We'll sit right here and we'll drink till dawn while I tell you what we have to do to kill a seal. Then, in the morning, we'll make our way to the floes. But honestly, I think it's a mistake. I can see that boy and he looks frail. This is gonna be a rugged sojourn, and the boy is pale and his eyes are dim. The boy's in perfect health, I said. And so, as Adam Egat and I slept and dreamt, Edward McClinton and I talked into the night, as men will do, and we were warmed by the fireplace and the iceberg rum. Finally, dawn came and boy woke up. The boy woke up. He was ghastly pale, and Edward McClintock remarked upon it, but when the boy spoke, his enthusiasm for what lay ahead made him appear to be of sound body. He wanted to hear all about the coming adventure, and Edward McClintock said he would tell us all soon, but didn't want to repeat anything. Then he got up from his chair, walked to the fireplace, and with his heavy boot he kicked Adam Egat awake. We sat around the kitchen table as Edward McClintock poured us coffee and warned us about the North Atlantic Ocean. I first traveled this strip of sea as a child, on a dare, in a small Rodney made for jigging squid, and by luck I survived. But in my youthful pride I took my survival as a sign of providence, and instead of kneeling in thanks I stood tall in vainglory. Well, since then this sea has battered me and froze me. I've lost 4 toes and a finger, and I've been swept under a dozen times. The North Atlantic Ocean, she don't care about you and me and whether we live or die. You remember that, boys, and you show her the respect she's earned. Are you going to make those flapjacks today, Eddie? Adam Egan asked. What? Edward McClintock snapped. Those flapjacks sure are good, Eddie. I could eat those forever. I saw fire in Edward McClintock's cobalt blue eyes, and I was afraid for Adam Egat, but Edward held himself still until the fire went out. Yes, he said, we'll breakfast big this morning. For the next 3 days we're living on herring and rum. We ate a great large meal, and I felt fat and fine. Then Edward McClintock took us all to the boat, and we were off to make a final boy's final wish, to make a young boy's final wish come true. As I looked at the boy, I noticed he was already shivering under his hides, and Edward McClintock had warned us that it would only get colder. I was scared. If the boy didn't live, it was going to look bad for me. Real bad. 6 hours in, the boy developed a fever. Edward McClintock was very concerned, and he thought we should turn back, but the boy insisted he would be fine. Yes, I'll be fine. He'll be fine, I said, and gave him his pills. There were so many pills. I let him wash them down with the iceberg rum. As we waited to spot a seal, I played a game with the boy. We would look up at the clouds above and find figures in them. That one looks like a bird, I said. Yeah, it does. And look at that one. It looks like a man rubbing his nose, he returned. I don't see it. You see? That's the bottom of it. And the man's chin, and then his mouth is wide open. And then I saw it. And we played this game for 2 days. We saw alligators and pickles and trees and every sort of thing, all of them white and still and living in the cold and limitless sky. In the middle of the second day, we heard the cries of seals. The boy jumped up, then coughed an awful rattle in a cough and fell back down. We were all pretty well frozen, and I looked over at Adam Egan, whose tears had become ice halfway down his cheeks. Edward McClintock pulled the boat up and threw out a rope, and then took a hammer and smashed a spike into the 3-foot ice and anchored us to the berg. The ice had snow on top, so it wasn't slippery, and up ahead we could see men and hear their gunshots. "Damn punks from St. John's with their pistols. That's not how you kill a seal." He took a rucksack from the boat and pulled out a crude, ancient weapon. It had a wooden handle and a curved blade on one end. It looked like a cross between a scythe and a bayonet. "This is a hackapick, son. The baby harp, she has a skull as thin as a shadow, and it takes just one blow to fell her. But your strike must find the forehead. Then her eyes will open and be glassy. When you touch the eyes, if they don't move, the beast is dead. Do you follow?" "Yes, sir," the boy said, and smiled broadly, but then he coughed that awful, empty cough. We had about 100 yards between us and the seals, but they were some of the longest yards I've ever traversed. I had to carry the boy toward the seal. There was a wind, and it howled like a hammer, and I could no longer hear the whimpers of Adam Egan, who slipped and fell every few feet. I hadn't walked for the last 2 days, and my legs weren't working properly. It was as if I had to learn it new, like a foal on snow and ice. I knew I couldn't fall for the sake of the boy, so I walked slow, stopped to put the boy down and rest every few minutes, and then I began walking again. We'd only walked about 50 yards when a great weariness settled on me, and I didn't think I could go farther. Suddenly, all I wanted to do was sleep, but Edward McClintock had warned me that the cold will trick a man, and that the sleep that sweetly beckons is not really sleep at all, but the deeper thing. So I forced my eyes wide and looked ahead, where I saw Edward McClintock, about 30 years behind us, standing still as a rabbit. He turned and fastened his Malamute eyes on me, and his voice was clock steady as the frozen words came from his cracked lips. "Baby harp." Knowing the creature was only some 50 yards from where I stood gave me the strength to continue. I put the boy down gently like a kitten, and Edward McClintock handed him the hackapick. "Are you sure you can swing it, son, or should I help?" he asked. But the boy was already on his way, and soon he was standing above the baby seal. We watched, the 3 of us, while the boy mustered all his strength to swing the hackapick high in the air, then downward and fast, and the seal's thin skull exploded, and a spray of blood fell all around and upon the boy. The boy swung again and again and again until he was awash with a delight of blood, and he was a figure of bright red with the everlasting white behind him. It was as if the creature's very life had somehow leapt into the boy, and the 3 of us were silent in the witness of this wicked miracle. The boy danced about energetically singing, while Edward McClintock skinned the seal. Then we returned, and the day was as cold as iron. None of us spoke but for the boy, who chatted gaily and sang. When I gave him his pills, he laughed and threw them into the North Atlantic Ocean. No one but the 4 of us ever knew of the journey. The boy made a complete recovery and was written up in several medical journals. Everyone agreed that his survival defied worldly explanation. The boy attained a small measure of fame and was even invited to Gracie Mansion, where he met the mayor himself. It was barely reported a year later when, while crossing Fifth Avenue, he was struck by a New York City bus and killed instantly. There you go. That's part 2, A Wish Fulfilled. Let's go back to the chat. Ooh, all right, we got some great questions. Happy New Year's Eve. Same to you. I hope you're having a great time tonight. Did you already tell your audience what your New Year's resolutions are? No, I don't really do that kind of thing. Most of my New Year's resolutions were kind of grammatical. You know, I'm trying not to end my sentences with prepositions, things like that. But yeah, this year I don't know how many years I get. Maybe 3. I'm not really beating myself up too much. I just feel like I'm starting to get the hang of life a little bit. And I'm going to try really hard to be the best version of me that I can every day. I don't need specifics. I don't know. I should probably lose weight, but I don't want to. I should probably... Oh, I'm going to change my hair. That's a New Year's resolution. I'm excited about this. Every year, I change my hairstyle, and I try to shop for a new one. This year, I haven't really found one that inspired me until this week. I went and I saw Godzilla -1. It's not Godzilla's hair. He's bald, which would also work on me. But one of the scientists, a little guy who was in Gung Ho, he had little circular glasses and a big thing of hair that went curly here, and then curly here, and then curly here. And I'm going to do that. It's going to take me about a year to grow it in, but it's going to be awesome. So let's see, New Year's resolutions. Yeah, I don't know. I just try to be kinder to everybody I meet. Try not to lose my temper. Try to be just best version of myself every chance I get. Thanks for asking. Shayna said she logged on a little late. That's ridiculous. Anytime you're here is the right time. Thank you very much for coming. And she says one of her New Year's resolutions is to get more hugs from Debbie Millwater. That is a very, very wise resolution. There we go. 3. Yeah, nah, I've had the 2 heart attacks, so I could pretty much. The world needs. Oh, it's so sweet. It needs me longer than 3 years. Thank you very much. They'll get me as long as they get me. That's the deal. Shana said I liked it when I had longer hair during the pandemic. I like it too. I like my longer hair. This was fun. And now next year, curly. It's gonna look like a mad scientist. I can't wait to try it. Thanks, Shana. Hey, I really appreciate you being involved. All right, then let's spin the wheel. I have cool longer hair. It gets curly, so I'm excited about it. I just hadn't found a hairstyle that I hadn't seen before. So for the beginning of the year, it's going to be like David Tennant's Doctor, where I just sort of brush it forward, like a normal part. And then when it gets longer and curly enough, I'll start teasing the ends and making it a bit here. All right, let's sing an acapella song to the theme. Thank you, Leroy. Welcome. This is great. We got somebody new in here. Kindness is a good one. Always a good way to go. Outstanding. Well read, my man. Thank you very much, Leroy. Appreciate you sticking your head in. It's always a good idea. What do I mean 3 years? That's the general prognosis. I'll be fine. As long as I am, So, let's, what do we end up with spending? I forgot. Oh no. I got so excited to answer in the chat. Singing a song. That's what we're doing. Let's do an easy one. Let's see. How about Luck Be a Lady? Luck. They call you Lady Luck, but there is room for doubt. At times you've had a very unladylike way of running out. You're on this date with me. The pickings have been lush, and yet before this evening is over, you might give me the brush. You might forget your manners, you might refuse to stay, and so all that I can do is pray. Luck be a lady tonight. Luck be a lady tonight. Luck if you've ever been a lady to begin with. Luck be a lady tonight. Luck, let a gentleman see how nice a dame you can be. I know the way you've treated other guys you've been with. Luck be a lady with me. A lady doesn't leave her escort. It isn't fair. It isn't nice. A lady doesn't wander all over the room to blow on some other guy's dice. Let's keep this party polite. Never get out of my sight. Stick with me, baby, I'm the fella you came in with. Luck be a lady. Luck be a lady. Luck be a lady tonight. Yeah. Luck be a lady tonight. Fun. Let us go to the show. Back to the chat. Now, Shin, I love you too, Stephanie. Thank you. Let's see. I end a lot of my sentences with prepositions too, but sometimes sentences sound weird otherwise. I know what you're talking about. There's words like that, especially with I don't want to, something like that. I don't want them to. That always sounds weird. I'm a big fan of breaking out the in which, you know? Yeah, the in which it's from which it is, you know, that kind of. I can't even think of a single preposition sentence, but I get what you're talking about. It does make you sound weird, but I am weird, so I embrace it. Shane asked, do I enjoy karaoke? I adore karaoke. When I was on the ship, I sang karaoke almost every single day for the entire 10 years I was there. I love it, I love it, I love it, but I also have a pretty severe social anxiety disorder. So I'm uncomfortable around people. I'm uncomfortable waiting for my turn. So I started doing this instead. This is my one-person karaoke. I hope you like it. If not, I love it. This is mostly for me. Kim is my sister. For if you don't know Shanna, she's my other older sister, and she is a brilliant singer, professional level, and one of my favorite. Yeah, she's a fantastic singer. We've done karaoke together a few times. It's tricky to find a song that a brother and sister can sing together, but we found a couple and we had fun. So great questions. Thank you so much for asking. Let's spin the wheel. Fight. All right, that's not working. I'm going to take that off the wheel because that hasn't had a successful interaction yet. Come on, Shakespeare. Wisdom. Oh, I love wisdom. Let's do wisdom. Let's see if we can find 3 in a row that are worth reading. Let's see. To stay young requires unceasing cultivation of the ability to unlearn old falsehoods. A critic is a man who creates nothing and thereby feels qualified to judge the work of creative men. There is logic in this. He is unbiased. He hates all creative people equally. Money is truthful. If a man speaks of his honor, make him pay cash. Those were all I'll have to figure it out some other time. All right, let's spin the wheel. Monologue. Fantastic. Let's go to the monologue. Go to the theme. All right, Tony, you still in here? It's for you, bud. We're going to do the opening monologue from Patton. This is Patton's welcome speech. Now, I want you to remember that no bastard ever won a war by dying for his country. He won it by making the other poor bastard die for his country. Men, all the stuff you've heard about America not wanting to fight, wanting to stay out of the war, is a lot of horse dung. Americans traditionally love to fight. All real Americans love the sting of battle. When you were kids, you all admired the champion marble shooter, the fastest runner, the big league ball players, the toughest boxers. Americans love a winner and will not tolerate a loser. Americans play to win all the time. Now, I wouldn't give a hoot in hell for a man who lost and laughed. That's why Americans have never lost and will never lose a war, because the very thought of losing is hateful to Americans. Now, an army is a team. It lives, eats, sleeps, fights as a team. This individuality stuff is a bunch of crap. The bilious bastards who wrote that stuff about individuality for the Saturday Evening Post don't know anything more about real battle than they do about fornicating. Now, we have the finest food and equipment, the best spirit, and the best men in the world. You know, by God, I actually pity those poor bastards we're going up against. By God, I do. We're not just going to shoot the bastards. We're going to cut out their living guts and use them to grease the treads of our tanks. We're going to murder these lousy Hun bastards by the bushel. Now, some of you boys, I know, are wondering whether or not you'll chicken out under fire. Don't worry about it. I can assure you that you will all do your duty. The Nazis are the enemy. Wade into them. Spill their blood. Shoot them in the belly. When you put your hand into a bunch of goo that a moment before was your best friend's face, you'll know what to do. Now, there's another thing I want you to remember. I don't want to get any messages saying that we are holding our position. We're not holding anything. Let the Hun do that. We are advancing constantly, and we are not interested in holding onto anything except the enemy. We're going to hold on to him by the nose, and we're going to kick him in the ass. We're going to kick the hell out of him all the time, and we're going to go through him like crap through a goose. Now, there's one thing you men will be able to say when you get back home, and you may thank God for it. 30 years from now, when you're sitting around your fireside with your grandson on your knee, and he asks you, what did you do in the Great World War II? You won't have to say, well, I shoveled shit in Louisiana. All right now, you sons of bitches, you know how I feel. Oh, I will be proud to lead you wonderful guys into battle. Anytime, anywhere. That's all. I never seen that movie, so if I did it wrong, please forgive me. Ooh, this is great. Back to the chat. All right. Now, Shayna, ooh, this is fun. Shayna has some more talk. Shayna said, you know what I mean? She said, even if you reword it with words like in which, it sometimes sounds strange and awkward too. Formal, and not like how normal people talk. You know what I mean? I guess it can sound better in writing the way you prime speak out loud. I think I know what you mean. I'm trying to get into it. I got used to the in whiches. Yeah, I'll tell you a joke. This is I can't take credit for this one or anything on this, but this is a fantastic Seth Meyers joke. Recently, a report reported that the two sexiest thing women find in a male mate are straight teeth and good skill with grammar. Great news for whomever has both. Love that one. Okay, so she says she's a bit of a grammar nerd too, but not always great about it in texting because I make typos and don't always proofread. Sure, yeah, I'm lucky you're still using words. Most people just send me pictures nowadays. I love texting with commas and stuff. Stephanie said she'd be right back and we'll miss her. Hey, you know who's a really great writer? Craig Collin. He's really great with words, as I'm sure you know. I love Craig. I get to see him every chance I get. I'm very much looking forward to doing some producing work with him next year because I think he's the man. He's focused and a great writer. He writes all day, every day, and he's one of the few pure writers that I know. He's great and a good stand-up and a great guy. So yeah, I can't wait. Speaking of typos, I just made some. All is forgiven. Worry not. And Tony said, oh, son of a bitch. Of course, I just stepped out to grab my pills. Oh, I'll do it again. That's fine. You can watch it later on. Oh, Shana didn't mean prime. She meant people. There's no emoji for a lady with blue, purple, pink hair? Really? That doesn't make any sense to me at all. There's lots of people with purple and pink hair. And even more people who use the people with purple and pink hair as examples. So they should be an emoji. I'll make some call. I'll talk to Steve Emoji. He'll know what's up. Thank you. Some more stuff. Let's spin the wheel. Now, I haven't seen a poem yet. I haven't seen any Shakespeare. A little bit of wisdom, but not much. One or two jokes. No Zen koans. Come on, we'll help a guy out. All right, let's do another joke. To the comedy club. All right, here we go. Oh, I told this one last week. There we are. An old man An old man lived alone in New Jersey. He wanted to plant his annual tomato garden, but it was very difficult work as the ground was hard. Now, his only son, Vincent, who used to help him, was in prison. So the old man wrote a letter to his son and described his predicament. Dear Vincent, I'm feeling pretty sad because it looks like I won't be able to plant my tomato garden this year. I'm just getting too old to be digging up a garden plot. I know if you were here, my troubles would be over. I know you would be happy to dig the plot for me like in the old days. Love, Papa. A few days later, he received a letter from his son. Dear Pop, don't dig up that garden. That's where the bodies are buried. Love, Vinny. At 4 a.m. the next morning, FBI agents and local police arrived and dug up the entire area without finding any bodies. They apologized to the old man and left. That same day, the old man received another letter from his son. Dear Pop, go ahead and plant the tomatoes now. That's the best I could do under the circumstances. Love you, Vinny. That's a cute story, more than a joke. Hey, we got some cool people. Let's see. Speaking of people, Tony, Shayna. Oh, Penelope's here. Hey, first time on the actual live show. How you doing, Penelope? Welcome. Just noticed you on Facebook a few weeks ago. Thank you so much for coming into the show. Where are you writing in from? And Richard's here, too. This is fun. Hi, Richard. Thank you so much for coming to the big show today. How you holding up? You all right? Where are you writing in from? And I'm going to get some calls. I'm going to make some calls about getting an emoji for people with hair. It's the least I can do. I will do everything I know how to do to get this emoji situation figured out. So I'm glad you told me what was on your mind. Let's spin a wheel. Where are you from, Richard? I think it's my first time meeting you. And Penelope, I've seen you post, but never mind. Let's go. Ah, very nice. Sorry to hear about your hip, Richard. Zen Cohen. Let's go to the Zen Cohen. Talk show desk, chat show, poetry corner, and campfire. There we are. I believe we have made our way up to 8, but let me double check. Last poem, Story of Shunkai. That's it. Let's do all right. This is Zen Koan number 11, The Story of Shunkai. The exquisite Shunkai, whose other name was Suzu, was compelled to marry against her wishes when she was quite young. Later, after this marriage had ended, she attended the university where she studied philosophy. To see Shunkai was to fall in love with her. Moreover, wherever she went, she herself fell in love with others. Love was with her at the university, and afterwards, when philosophy did not satisfy her and she visited the temple to learn about Zen, the Zen students fell in love with her. Shunkai's whole life was saturated with love. At last, in Kyoto, she became a real student of Zen. Her brothers in the sub-temple of Kenin praised her sincerity. One of them proved to be congenial spirit and assisted her in the mastery of Zen. The abbot of Kenin, Makurai, Silent Thunder, was severe. He kept the precepts himself and expected the priests to do so. In modern Japan, whatever zeal these priests have lost for Buddhism, they seem to have gained for having wives. Mukurai used to take a broom and chase the women away when he found them in the temples, but the more wives he swept out, the more seemed to come back. In this particular temple, the wife of the head priest had become jealous of Shunkai's earnestness and beauty. Hearing the students praise her serious Zen made this wife squirm and itch. Finally, she spread a rumor about that Shunkai and the young man who was her friend. As a consequence, he was expelled and Shunkai was removed from the temple. I may have made the mistake of love, thought Shunkai, but the priest's wife shall not remain in the temple either, if my friend is to be treated so unjustly. Shunkai, the same night, with a can of kerosene, set fire to the 500-year-old temple and burned it to the ground. In the morning, she found herself in the hands of the police. A young lawyer became interested in her and endeavored to make her sentence lighter. Do not help me, she told him. I might decide to do something else, which will only imprison me again. At last, a sentence of 7 years was completed, and Shunkai was released from the prison, where the 60-year-old warden had also become enamored of her. But let everyone look upon her as a jailbird, no one would associate with her. Even the Zen people, who believe in enlightenment and in this life with the body, shunned her. Zen, Shunkai found, was one thing, and the followers of Zen quite another. Her relatives would have nothing to do with her. She grew sick and poor and weak. She met a Shinshu priest who taught her the name of the Buddha of love, and in this, Shunkai found some solace and peace of mind. She passed away when she was still exquisitely beautiful and hardly 30 years old. She wrote her own story in a futile endeavor to support herself, and some of it she told to a woman writer. So it reached the Japanese people who rejected Shunkai. Those who slandered and hated her now read of her life with tears of remorse. All right, let's go back to the chat. We got new friends. Hi. Theodore is here. Welcome, Theodore. First timer. Glad you're here. See if I can catch up. Here we go. There's Theodore. Thank you so much for checking in. Where you writing in from, Theodore? How do I know you? Glad you're watching. You have any favorite poems or songs or anything? Let me know. Stephanie's saying hi to everybody. Thank you for that. Keeping things honest. Quick recovery to Richard. Very nice. How'd you break your hip? Was it an interesting story, or whenever I break something, it's always something lame. Never get to tell cool stories. All right, let's spin the wheel. Pour a little more coffee. Hope everybody's drinking their coffee this morning. Shakespeare, finally. Let's head to the Shakespeare Theater. Hi, Theodore. Oh, this is fun. We got somebody here from Tanzania. Welcome, my friend. Don't have any friends from Tanzania before. The base of Mount Kilimanjaro. That sounds amazing. Love to hear how you ended up there and what kind of work you do while you're in that area. Well, this is by Shakespeare. Let's talk about it. Here we go. We were on our way to do the sonnets again. I believe we were up to number 4. Nope, 5, 6. Yes. This is Sonnet 6 by William Shakespeare. Then let not winter's ragged hand deface in thee thy summer, ere thou be distilled. Make sweet some vial. Treasure thou some place with beauty's treasure, ere it be self-killed. That use is not forbidden usury, which happies those that pay the willing loan. That's for thyself to breed another thee. Or 10 times happier, be it 10 for 1, 10 times thyself were happier than thou art, if 10 of thine 10 times refigured thee. Then what could death do if thou shouldst depart, leaving thee living in posterity? Be not self-willed, for thou art much too fair to be death's conquest, and make worms thine heir. Fun. That was sonnet number 6. All right, back to the chat. We had good wishes for Richard. Theodore said hello from Tanzania. Welcome. Penelope says hi to Steph. Very nice of you to do so. Tony has requested a future monologue, Colonel Kurtz's monologue from Apocalypse Now. I've got it in the books. I'll do it next time monologue comes up. Not very good at it, but I'll do it. Hi, Penelope. Hi, Theodore. Theodore's my friend. Hot chocolate. I don't drink coffee. Nobody's perfect. I love coffee. Can't get enough of it. All right, let's spin the wheel. Welcome to everybody. Thanks for the new time viewers. If you have any favorite poems in English, preferably, let me know. Thanks, Mark. Here we go. Spin the wheel. Penelope, thank you. Here we go. Feelings. Oh, that's exciting. Let's go to the chat. We'll lose all kinds of people with this. Back to the chat, Chalet. I will talk to you about my feelings. Let's see. Just had a great week at home with the kids. They're on Christmas vacation. And I'm on permanent vacation, so it was a really nice time. Got Mortal Kombat, played a lot of time with my son on that. He's 13, 14. He's just right for that game, and we're loving it. Spent a lot of time with Charlotte, not enough time. She's spent most of her time in the room now. Feeling good, feeling positive, keeping busy. I just got some good news. I don't know how much of it I'm allowed to tell. There's a friend of mine who is putting together a new network for Charlotte Comedies. The Charlotte Comedy Network is going to be a channel on YouTube, and he's got some money behind it, and he wants me to do Happy Place on the channel and maybe produce a couple other shows. So that's pretty exciting. That's PJ Barnes. I'm sure you're familiar with him, Shayna. Him and the Screw Up TV crew are putting together a whole network, and I might get to be a part of it and be pitching a whole bunch of things on Sunday. So that's exciting to have hope. I got to spend a lot of time with Debbie. I spend most of my time with Debbie just sitting in awe. I'll sit in the living room with the kids or watching a TV show or something while she does something amazing in the kitchen or sleeps. That's all she does. Something amazing or sleep. You know what I mean? Is that a fun pronunciation? It's not Tanzania? Tanzania? Is it Tanzania? Is it Tanzania? I'm sorry. I was thinking of the Tanzanian devil, but that's a different guy. Tanzania. Right you are. And Penelope, she gets it. Penelope laughs. Makes me happy every time. All right. So anyway, I'm feeling hopeful about having more work to do. I'm working with somebody putting together a one-man show for him, a former newsman who I admire and I like spending time with. I get to spend 2 hours a week with him building. I really enjoy that. Having a little thing on Sunday, and the rest of the week I'm watching movies and taking care of the kids, cook occasional meal, clean the kitchen, Not doing the cleaning as much as I should, but besides that, things are good. I feel good. I feel full of hope. I feel very grateful for all the time that I get to spend with my family this week. What are you guys feeling like? Anybody going through anything? Now's the chance to talk about it. Let's spin the wheel while you think. Zen Cohen. I just did one of those. Come on, wheel. I can do better myself. More Shakespeare. I'm calling audible. Omaha. I'm going down a poem. We haven't got any poems yet. I like poems. Love doing poems. All right. Get the big voice out. Nice, right? Here we go. Oh, that looks so much better. I moved the microphone from this side to this side, and it feels better and looks better, so I'm very happy with that. There we go. Okay. Ooh, nice little shine on that. Oh, that looks great. All right, let us do a poem. I believe we did nothing but Shel Silverstein last time, and I love Shel Silverstein, but I want to do a couple more for you. I added a bunch. First, a request. This is a request. The Ancient Track by H.P. Lovecraft. There was no hand to hold me back that night. I found the ancient track over the hill and strained to see the fields that teased my memory. This tree, that wall, I knew them well, and all the roofs and orchards fell familiarly. Familiarly. Anybody know that word? Familiarly. And the orchards fell familiarly. Wow. The orchards fell familiarly. I'm putting that in the warm-up. Familiarly. This is a request. This is The Ancient Track by H.P. Lovecraft. There was no hand to hold me back that night. I found the ancient track over the hill and strained to see the fields that teased my memory. This tree, that wall, I knew them well, and all the roofs and orchards fell familiarly upon my mind as from a past not far behind. I knew what shadows would be cast when the last moon came up last from back of Zaman's hill, and how the veil should shine 3 hours from now. And when the path steep grew and high, and seemed to end against the sky, I had no fear of what might rest beyond that silhouetted crest. Straight on I walked, while all the while grew pale with phosphorescent light, and wall and farmhouse gable glowed unearthly by the climbing road. There was the milestone that I knew, 2 miles to Dunwich. Now the view of distant spire and roofs would dawn, with 10 more upward paces gone. There was no hand to hold me back that night. I found the ancient track, and reached the crest to outspread a valley of the lost and dead. And over Zimon's hill the horn of a malignant moon was born, to light the weeds and vines that grew on ruined walls I never knew. The foxfire glowed in fires and bog, and unknown waters spewed a fog, whose curling talons mocked the thought that I had ever known this spot. Too well I saw from the mad scene that my loved past had never been, nor was I now upon the trail descending to that long dead vale. Around was fog, ahead the spray of star streams in the Milky Way. There was no hand to hold me back. That night I found the ancient track. There you go. Maybe back here. Do it like this. Oh, we've got Stephanie saying, welcome. We got new people. My goodness gracious, Craig's here. Let's go. Very, very exciting. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to my dear friend. It's Craig Collin, everybody. You've heard him talked about on the show several times. We're all big fans here. He's here himself. How are you, Craig? How was your holiday? Thanks for sticking your head in. We're going to bring me a list of favorite poems and favorite monologues, but I don't think I remember to ask you last time. So hopefully next time I see you, I'll get to do that. If you have any poems you'd like me to read today, I am available to do so. Welcome, Craig. Thanks for coming. And Stephanie, thanks for treating them like a hostess. I appreciate that too. That's very kind. Yeah, it's like the mayor of the show. All right, let's spin the wheel. Glad you're here, Craig. Another poem. All right then, to the Poetry Corner. Headphones on. Here we go. Let's do. This is the New Colossus. This is the poem that is on the base of the Statue of Liberty. It's by Emma Lazarus, who has the same birthday I do, so I've always felt a connection to this poem. This is the New Colossus by Emma Lazarus. Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame with conquering limbs astride from land to land, here at our sea-washed sunset gates shall stand a mighty woman with a torch, whose flame is the imprisoned lightning, and her name Mother of Exiles. From her beacon hand glows worldwide welcome. Her mild eyes command the air-bridged harbor that twin cities frame. Keep, ancient lands, your storied pomp, cries she with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to be free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. Yeah. Don't you? Aw, thanks a lot. All right. My favorite thing about Craig is Craig always knows the exact right thing to say. I don't know why. He just has a gift for that. Oh, I'm great. I'm a big fan of yours too. See, how sweet is that? I wouldn't even think of that. What a guy. All right. Love this guy. He's also in North Carolina. Holidays were great. Mine were great. Thank you so much for asking. Craig and I are still working up with our own safety dance. Now, I don't know what that means. Is that the safety dance? You mean, you can dance if you want to? Oh, there it is. I've left my friends behind. Oops, safety dance. It's a work in progress. I can't wait to see the safety dance. You can dance if you want to. You can leave your friends behind because your friends don't dance, and if they don't dance, then they're no friends of mine. Okay, that's as far as that's going to go. Everything's a work in progress, and everybody wants to work with Craig. I'm on the list myself. I was just telling him about the new, hey, Craig, we got a new comedy network opening up. It's the Charlotte Comedy Network, opened up by PJ Barnes and those folks. He asked me for some pitches on Sunday, and I'm hoping to see you today. And if not, you should call me because I really want to talk to you about some stuff before next Sunday. There you go, getting work done on the show. I love this thing. How you doing, Craig? You all right? Any favorite poems? Anything? Dead air. Let's spin the wheel. Ooh, wisdom. Marvelous. Let's lay down some wisdom from on high. If you have any favorite quotes, send them to me. If I think they're wise, I'll read them on the show. See if I can find my wisdom. There it is. There we go. Let's see, we did some writing from the Quran last week. Having a little bit of trouble with, there we go. The pen is the mind of the tongue. That's wisdom. Oh, it's close. The pen is the tongue of the mind. That's wisdom from Miguel de Cervantes. Let's see, did that one. Let's do some, I like Watts. Here we go. Do not appease a person while he is still angry. That's from the Torah. Just as you are obligated to speak when your words will be heeded, you must remain silent when you know your words will be ignored. That's from Yevamot 65b, from the Torah. If you have guarded your mouth from evil speech, your days will be peaceful. That's wisdom from Derek Eretz, Zuta 9. I don't know what that means. One more. Silence is beautiful for wise people. It is all the more beautiful for fools. That's wisdom from the Torah. Nice. Like to mix it up. Ooh, Craig got some more. Check. Let's go back to the chat. Craig said, we are definitely working together in 2024. Count on it. Could be talking to anybody, probably talking to everybody. Am I right? Shayna says the reason it started is because his wife, Kathy Craley, I don't know how to say it, Craley Collins, came up with his intro for March Madness. What Chris Mon said about him when he entered the stage, something about him knowing how to do the safety dance. Interesting. Can't make it today? Hey, you got an out-of-town show. Very, very nice, but I will call you. Wonderful. We'll catch up, and we'll figure out what's going on. Look forward to that, too. All right, let's spin the wheel. Let's see. 2 poems, a couple of jokes. Certainly not enough. Do the joke room. Takes a minute for the jokes to load sometimes, so I don't even know what it is yet. I'm looking at a blank screen. Anything could happen. This is very exciting. Here we go. The mother-in-law stopped by her daughter's house after shopping to find her son-in-law boiling angry and hurriedly packing his suitcase. What happened? She asked anxiously. What happened? I'll tell you what happened. I sent an email to my wife, your daughter, telling her I was coming home a day early for my fishing trip. I got home and guess what I found? Your daughter in bed naked with another guy. This is unforgivable. The end of our marriage. I'm done. I'm leaving forever. Calm down, said the mother-in-law. There's something very odd about that. She would never do such a thing. There must be a simple explanation. I'll go speak to her and find out what happened. A few minutes later, the mother-in-law came back with a big smile and said, I told you there must have been a simple explanation. She didn't get your email. Long, but fun. All right, let's spin the wheel. Wrong button. Oh, zoom out. I love this part. There we go. Creative and cool. That's what I'm looking for, too. That's the whole thing, isn't it? Craig said he was talking to me specifically. Very nice of him to say. But he's down to work with anyone creative and cool. That's the key. Got to find all the creative and cool people. I don't know what's going on with this. You guys see the pause that comes up every couple of minutes? I don't know what that is or how to fight that. Well, just working on it. Let's, Big fan of PJ and Screw Up TV too. Seems like a perfect match. How true that is. I've had the pleasure of working with PJ many, many times, and he's always amazing. So I'm glad that he's growing his empire. He deserves it. Hell of a hard-working guy. And very, very funny. All right, let's spin the wheel. Shakespeare. Let's go to the Shakespeare stage. This is sonnet number 7 by William Shakespeare. Lo, in the Orient, when the gracious light lifts up his burning head, under each eye doth homage his new appearing sight, serving with looks his sacred majesty, and having climbed the steep up heavenly hill, resembling strong youth in his middle age, yet mortal looks adore his beauty still, attending on his golden pilgrimage. But when from highmost pitch with weary ear like feeble age he reeleth from the day, the eyes, fore duteous, now converted are from his low tract and look another way. So thou, thyself outgoing in thy noon, unlooked on deest, and lest thou get a son. I try to pretend like I know what I'm talking about when I do the sonnets, but sometimes I don't. I don't know. All right, let's spin the wheel. All right. Tony liked the joke. Stephanie didn't like the joke. There's balance to the universe. Acapella. Cool. Let's sing a song. To the theater. Let's see. You did a Sinatra tune already. Let's do something else. How about Things Are Looking Up? Is by George Gershwin. If I should suddenly start to sing, or stand on my head or anything, don't think that I've lost my senses. It's just that my happiness finally commences. The long, long ages of dull despair are turning into thin air, and it seems that I've suddenly become the happiest guy alive. Things are looking up. I've been looking the landscape over, and it's covered with four-leaf clover. Oh, things are looking up since love looked up at me. Bitter was my cup, but no more will I be the mourner, for I've certainly turned the corner. Oh, things are looking up since love looked up at me. See the sunbeams, everyone beams, just because of you. Love's in session, and my depression is unmistakably through. Things are looking up. It's a great little world we live in. Oh, I'm happy as a pup since love looked up at me. Yes, I'm happy as a pup since love looked up at me. Hey! Big finish. Fun. Now you got to practice. All right. Let's go back to the wheel. The mother-in-law voice. Yes, that's a classic. I wish I could take credit. I believe that is a straight impression of Adam Sandler's mother. No! They're all going to laugh at you. No! That's just trying to do, but thank you very much. Trying to do the voices. Thanks for sticking in. I can't believe you're still there. Thanks, bud. Let's spin the wheel. Big Adam Sandler fan. Poem, finally. I love doing the poems. Let's go to the poetry corner. All right, here we go. I believe we were making our way. We had just done the ancient track. Let us do This is Before the Cask of Wine by Li Bai. The spring wind comes from the east and quickly passes, leaving faint ripples in the wine of the golden bowl. The flowers fall, flake after flake, myriads together. You, pretty girl, wine-flushed, your rosy face is rosier still. How long may the peach and plum trees flower by the green-painted house? The fleeting light deceives man, brings soon the stumbling age. Rise and dance in the westering sun while the urge of youthful years is yet unsubdued. What avails to lament after one's hair has turned white like silken threads? Beautiful. Like that a lot. Let's spin the wheel. Thought that was pretty. Thank you very much. I take any encouragement I can for my singing. Yeah, Adam Sandler's That Comedy albums were a staple of mine for my college years, too. Most of my voices, in some way or another, are based on Adam Sandler voices or Dana Carvey voices. I did a lot of Dana Carvey voices back then. All right, let's spin the wheel. You have a favorite Adam Sandler album? I liked the first couple. They're All Gonna Laugh at You was excellent, but Stan and Judy's Kid was my favorite. I think that's the one that had the goat on it. I like the goat song. Monologue. All right, let's go down to the theater. We'll do a monologue. I believe we have a request. All right. It's going to be tricky. Let's see if we can find Kurtz. Let's see. You got Lincoln. People Will Come. I got a whole bunch of new stuff, but I want to see if I can find Kurtz. Sorry, bud. Having a tough time finding it. Let's see. Larry the Liquidator, Greed is Good, Daniel Playview, second inaugural address, Independence Day, orientation speech from Cool Hand Luke, People Will Come from Field of Dreams. There it is, Kurtz. I knew we could do it. Now, for this one, I'm going to be using an acting technique, the old dead eye. That's the trick, is to take all the feeling out of your eyes, like you're giving up everything. All right. I've seen horrors. Horrors that you've seen, but you have no right to call me a murderer. You have a right to kill me. You have a right to do that, but you have no right to judge me. It's impossible for words to describe what is necessary to those who do not know what horror means. Horror. Horror has a face, and you must make a friend of horror. Horror and moral terror are your friends. If they are not, then they are enemies to be feared. They are truly enemies. I remember when I was with Special Forces, seems 1,000 centuries ago, we went into a camp to inoculate the children. We left the camp after we inoculated the children for polio, and this old man came running after us, and he was crying. He couldn't see. We went back there, and they had come and hacked off every inoculated arm. They were there in a pile of little arms. And I remember I cried, I wept like some grandmother. I wanted to tear my teeth out. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I want to remember it. I never want to forget it. I never want to forget. And then I realized like I was shot with a diamond bullet through my forehead. And I thought, my God, the genius of that, the will to do that. Perfect, genuine, complete, crystalline, pure. And then I realized they were stronger than we, because they could stand that these were not monsters. These were men, trained cadres whose men fought with their hearts, who had families, who had children, who were filled with love. But they had the strength to do that. If I had 10 divisions of those men, our troubles here would be over very quickly. You have to have men who are moral, and at the same time, who are able to utilize their primordial instincts to kill without feeling, without passion, without judgment. Without judgment. Because it's judgment that defeats us. There you go. Per your request. Bit of a bummer, but great. I love the talking goat. All right, hold on. Wrong button again. I am so... Oh, Chris Mons is here? What? Hold on. What? Okay, let's go back. Tony had something nice to say. Have I ever seen Pee-wee's Christmas special? Yes, I've seen everything Pee-wee. I was just telling Craig Collin about it yesterday since he was dressed up as Pee-wee Herman for the Comedy Zone show. It's one of my favorite holiday specials. If you've never seen it, I recommend checking it out on YouTube. It was from the 80s. I love Pee-wee Herman. I loved all of his specials. He is a great inspiration to me, both in his comedic style and the freedom of his imagination. I love him. Now, Craig said the first Adam Sandler Adams were the best, in my opinion. I felt the same way. Talking Goat is my all-time favorite. Now, there's a Talking Goat sketch, and then there's a Talking Goat song. The Talking Goat song is almost 10 minutes long. It's 5 different genres, and it's amazing. I might do that one myself later on. Hey, Chris Mons and Craig Collin. I don't know what makes you think Chris Mons is here, but if he is, welcome. I'm a big fan. Oh, wait, maybe. Okay, she's probably tagging him. And Stephanie says, LOL. Thank you, Stephanie. And thank you, Shayna, for getting the word out. I'm going to do this song. I love this song. How are we doing on time? We all right? Yeah. I happen to have this song memorized. You tagged Chris Mons. He'll be delighted by this whole thing, I'm sure. Let's try. All right, let's go down to the theater. I'm going to sing this song a cappella and ruin it. Here we go. The Goat Song by Adam Sandler. See if I can find it just in case. I have it most memorized. I sang it for my kids at the campfire once. That's a true story. Here it is. I am a simple goat. I live on the back of a pickup truck. The old man tied me here with a 3-foot rope. Am I happy? He don't give a fuck. Hey, goat, I'm gonna beat your head in with a hickory stick. Sometimes he uses his fists. He's filled with anger and filled with rage, and tells me I smell like peas. His drink, Jimmy Beam. His chaser, a beer. After that, various alcohols. That's when the beatings get so severe. Asleep, I pray he falls. But don't feel sorry for me. Things weren't always these bad. When I was a young talking goat, the old man was just like my dad. I come from the hills of Europe. That's where I met the old man. He was lost in the woods. I gave him directions. He gave me a tuna can. And then he stopped in his tracks and he said, "Hey, goat, would you like to live with me? I got a house with a pickup truck and a place across the sea." I said, "Sure, why not? I got no family, and you seem like a nice guy." So we went off to America, the home of apple pie. On the boat, the old man told me I would be a present for his wife. "A talking goat," he exclaimed. "She'd never seen this in her life." I felt so special. Well, I just couldn't believe it after all these years. I finally had a friend. He trimmed my beard, doodly-doo. He scraped my hooves, wow, wow. I prayed it would never end. But when we got to his house, there was no wife, only a short letter. It said, "I'm leaving you for your brother, because he fucks me better." His eyes were filled with tears of sadness. His heart was filled with grief. To soothe himself, he drank a pint of old Grandad and beat me like a side of beef. I screamed, send me back to the hills of Europe. He just shook his head and said, nope. No one will ever leave me again, to be sure. Put on this 3-foot fucking rope. Present day, I've been on the truck for 51 years. My only friend is the AM radio. Sometimes the neighborhood children stop by, but it's always rocks and beer bottles that they throw. At first, they're excited to see a talking goat. They gather round to hear what I have to say. But I guess my stories go on too long, so they leave and giggle. I need a bidet. But you know, there was a time that I did get off the truck when the old man was passed out drunk. 3 neighborhood kids took me to a rock and roll concert. The kind of music? Old school funk. It was the first time I got off the truck. The music made me lose control. The lead singer asked if we were having fun. I said, fucking crank that rock and roll. The women at the show were beautiful as they danced sexily on the soft grass. One of them even petted my fur. Fuck me in the goat ass. Then some long-haired guys grabbed me by the horn and threw me in the mosh pit. They passed me around and treated me nice till I nervously sprayed them with shit. And then the music stopped. And everything was quiet. And all the rock and rollers started the fucking goat riot. Kill the goat. Kill the goat. Kill the goat. Kill the goat. They chased me under the bleachers. They chased me under the street. They chased me into an alley and said I was dead fucking goat meat. And then I saw a sight that I never thought I'd see. The old man swinging his hickory stick, but he wasn't swinging at me. Hook you pot-smoking turkeys, don't you press your luck. The long hairs ran away screaming as I scrambled onto the truck. When we got home, the old man said, goat, you broke the sacred law. No, please, sorry, shit. I let it go this time, but if you leave again, I'll break your fucking jaw. Super, great, okay. Thank you, old man, for saving my life. Thank you again and again. You could have let them barbecue me, but you acted like a friend. I'm not your friend. I don't even like you. I'm just not drunk, he said. To prove his point, he drank a bottle of grain alcohol and beat the fucking shit out of my head. No! Ah, you're hurting me, old man. That night, I suffered a concussion deep inside my goat brain. I still cannot feel my tailbone, and I'll probably never walk straight again. I guess you'd call me a scapegoat, a punching bag for the old man to mock, just because his wife left him for his brother's abnormally large cock. He could have been my buddy, but instead he's a crazy old fuck. And once again I go to sleep in my eternal home, the back of the pick-up truck. Oh, good night, old man. Hey, good night, goat. There you go. Goat song. Oh, jeez. Oh, no. Oh, we got a whole bunch of new people. Let's go to the chick. Oh, Kimmy's here. Yay. Oh, this is great. Look at all that. I'm a big fan of Chris Mons, too. Both the skit and the song are excellent. I can't get enough of that song. My whole day is made. That's all it took, huh? Thanks, bud. Morning, family. Ladies and gentlemen, my sister Kim is here, also Stephanie's sister, one of my favorite people in the world. Where are you writing in from, Kim? Where are your adventures taking you this week? Stephanie says morning to Kimmy. Then Gabe's here. Hey, well, happy birthday, my friend. I don't know. I think that's Gabe. I think that's my buddy Gabe, the former Skeeter, and one of my favorite people on earth who I've missed. If that's you, Gabe, welcome. If you're a different Gabe, I'm happy to see you too. But if it's you, I love seeing pictures of your family. I hope things are going well for you. I miss you a lot. We should get together and have lunch. Brian says, I'm sick. I won't be available. Happy New Year. That's too bad. I was really hoping Brian could come in with us on Sundays and meet some of the people here, but maybe next time. Stephanie says, feel better. Brian, very kind. Craig, with a round of applause, always knows the right thing to say. Thank you, Craig. Wow, you guys are the coolest. All right, it's almost time to go. Let's go back to the talk show desk. Ooh, that was cool. I've never done that transfer before. I like that a lot. All right, thank you very much for watching. I hope you had a few laughs today. I hope you had some fun. I'll be back next Sunday right here on Facebook, reading some of my favorite things, including part 3 of the Norm Macdonald story. So I'm very, very excited about that. Until next time, remember, there's only one way to save this country, and that's for all of us to love one another. So love yourself first, and then love somebody else. That if you can, love everybody. That's what I'm trying to do. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep shining through, just like you always do, and the blue skies will push the dark clouds far away. And would you please say hello to the folks that I know, and tell them that I'll be wrong. They'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Thanks for watching, everybody. Till next time, be good, but not too good. Bye-bye.